afternoon, America. I'm Erick Erickson. Thanks for tuning in to the 4 Things to Know this afternoon. As always, we're cutting through the noise. We're getting to the truth behind today's headlines. Let's get to it. First up, today's lead story is kind of startling as it is revealing Hunter Biden said his father, Joe Biden, was on Ambien during the disastrous 2024 presidential debate with Donald Trump. According to Hunter, the then president routinely used Ambien up to 2 or 3 pills a night to help him sleep, which calls into question just how well Joe Biden was prepared for such a high-stakes moment under the national spotlight. It also raises questions about how prepared the president could have been should crises happen in the middle of the night. Hunter Biden's claim sheds new light on what Democrats and many in the media downplayed for months. The president was not in peak form during that fateful night. Everybody else saw it. The revelation is sure to renew concerns about how transparent the White House was with the American public about Joe Biden's health and decision-making. It also raises questions about the wisdom of scheduling debates or any key presidential event around the medication schedule of candidates who are, by their own admission, not up to best practices and best help without pharmaceutical help. President of the United States, Joe Biden, not Donald Trump, has a lot to answer for. For voters, it's yet another reminder of why honesty and transparency matter, especially when the stakes are this high. It's extremely wild that Hunter Biden would admit this or go on the tirade, as he did in this interview, against much of the Democratic establishment. He seems to want to take down the whole of the Democratic Party. That's fine with me. Next up, it's been 1 year since Joe Biden shocked the nation by dropping out of the 2024 race. And if you look at the polls, Democrats are still suffering the after effects of Joe Biden's departure from the race. According to the latest data, the party's poll numbers are at what could be rock bottom, with approval ratings for both President Trump and Republicans in Congress near historic lows. The upside for them, though, is how much worse it is for the Democrats. According to CNN, President Trump has an approval rating of about 44%. The Democrats, 28%. Even the Republicans in Congress are at 33%. Democrats have struggled to present a unified, compelling alternative to Trump or to recover from the sense of chaos and drift that gripped the party throughout Biden's final year in office. Infighting continues, with different wings of the party blaming each other for the decline and struggling over what direction to take. Attempts to rebrand or reset have largely failed to connect with voters. Approval among independents is especially weak, and key demographic groups are drifting away towards the GOP. Meanwhile, Republicans are capitalizing, touting their united efforts to govern, a vision for leadership and stability, as Democrats search for an identity and a message that resonates with voters. If Democrats were hoping for a quick turnaround after Biden's departure, the polls tell a very different story. A year later, they're even more unpopular than they were the day Biden dropped out. Third on our list, the fundraising race for 2025 paints a clear picture of momentum on Capitol Hill. The National Republican Congressional Committee announced record-breaking results for the second quarter, bringing in more than $21 million and outpacing Democrats for the third consecutive quarter. The NRCC credits small donor grassroots energy and strategic focus on flipping competitive seats in battleground districts. Republicans have also managed to keep their top incumbents out of trouble while expanding their donor base in suburban and rural areas, key demographics that remain skeptical of not just Democratic leadership, but the progressive drift of the Democratic Party. For Democrats, the lagging fundraising numbers are more than a financial problem. They reflect lower enthusiasm and a party apparatus struggling to rally support outside its core cities. The outcome of this fundraising sprint will heavily influence the battlefield map as we set up 2026. This could help shape who directs the chamber's agenda. Lastly, we turn to the American economy and what sums up everyday reality behind the economic headlines. Amazon and other retailers are quietly hiking prices on everything from diapers to soap and pantry staples, hitting American consumers right in the wallet. While official numbers show the U.S. economy regaining its swagger with GDP growth, job gains, and consumer confidence edging upward, the day-to-day cost of essential goods keeps rising. Amazon's latest round of increases on household basics come as its profits soar and grocery competition heats up. For consumers, these incremental price bumps add up, especially as wage gains from the past year are absorbed by inflation and higher living expenses due to tariffs. It's not just Amazon, though. Suppliers across the board are testing how high they can go before shoppers cut back, including using AI to algorithmically generate dynamic pricing that takes advantage of consumers. While Wall Street in Washington may be celebrating a revitalized economy, Main Street is still grappling with the cost of living. Jobs numbers only tell part of the story. Families feel it most when they make decisions about grocery purchases, school supplies, and monthly budgets. Economic strength is a good headline, but until the price of everyday essentials comes down or at least levels off, the swagger will ring hollow for many. We're in a picture very similar to Joe Biden's tenure in office, where the official data showed a roaring American economy, even as everyday Americans are increasingly frustrated by higher prices and wages not keeping up. 70% of Americans tell CBS News they're frustrated with President Trump not doing more to lower prices. It's a warning sign for the Republicans, even as their fundraising and polling outperform the Democrats right now. Events can change things. These are the 4 things you need to know this afternoon. Please be sure to subscribe to the podcast and the YouTube channel at EW Erickson on YouTube. It helps us grow the show. I'm Erick Erickson. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged. As always, please keep the faith.